Thank you for being a part of the glory of Zopp. We enjoyed getting to share this experience with you and create the chaotic rat-worshipping soup world that we all know and love. Through this portfolio, we were able to use our crazy minds to show and deepen our understanding of economics. We've learned that economics is constantly changing, both in the real world and in the made-up one, and we've shown that through our 3 videos. In Checkpoint 1, we introduced Reformed Nebraska, Zopp, a command economy with a population of 2 million, complete with a corrupt, nasty leader, the Rat of Power, who makes sure he's the only one who knows our soup recipe.
Our children work in factories instead of going to school in an attempt to suppress their understanding of just how bad their situation is. We have a Red Scare-esque mindset where anyone speaking against Zopp is surveilled and reported. The rewards for reporting bad people are high, making for a disconnected community and sense of distrust among citizens. We rely heavily on child labor and keep it secret from the public. We also establish the country's trading system, relying on trade-off rather than opportunity cost because of the lack of a set money system. We were also a very internally focused nation with very little trade and therefore no new materials, and nobody knew the extent of our suffering.
Between checkpoints 1 and 2 is a 5-year stretch in the world of Zopp. During this 5-year stretch, we had a revolution. During said revolution, our citizens broke free from their devotion to the rat and developed a money system, our transition to a market economy. We had a great change during this time. After the revolution, an immense propaganda campaign reinstated the government's loyalty and obedience to our rules and regulations, but the money system remained. We also opened trade to a select number of nations, including the one featured in our second video, a crossover with Potato Zone. Since Potato Zone is a traditional economy, we trade with them using soup, and it introduced new ingredients and recipes into Zopp. Trade opened new opportunities for us to analyze economically.
Speaking of our second video, we discussed the supply and demand of the country. It's constantly changing, especially due to the seasons, because of the change in demand for soup. As this is predetermined, our supplies will adjust as well. During the legendary Balls Out Potato Soup Festival, we spike our summer demand to have enough money to get through the winter. The supply and demand is constantly flowing to and from, and it was interesting to set parameters and see how it affects graphs. Lastly, in our third video, we discussed the economic problems surrounding Zopp. Even though they shifted to money, malnourishment and starvation is still abundant due to income inequality. It's intense. It's also continuing to grow as the elites get richer off of the poor and the poor getting poorer. We have a food stamp system, the Zopp Soup Tokens, which also shows change in our economy, but these renew once a month and you must go to the source to renew them. So if you don't have transportation, you're out of luck. There's also an approval system, and if you don't fit into the requirements or the opinion of the rat, no tokens for you.
Overall, through this portfolio, we have learned about how economic conditions are constantly changing and applied that to our beautifully broken country of Zopp. We hope you enjoyed taking this journey with us and will remember the Rat of Power for years to come.